If you're manifesting parking spots at Target, but not those 20K plus months you keep journaling about, then this video is going to change everything. But before I dive in, hey guys, I'm Jen, clinical hypnotherapist, mindset expert, and manifestation coach. And I help ambitious six figure entrepreneurs easily scale their business to multiple six figures and beyond while actually working less. Because we didn't just make money to make more money, we made money to actually enjoy it. And it's all about creating time and financial freedom. And that's exactly what I do for my clients. And in today's video, I'm going to share the exact process that has helped myself and my clients to increase their ability to manifest more abundance into their life, into their business with so much ease. So let's go dive in. So, first, we need to address why abundance feels so hard for you right now. Because you're looking out there on social media and out in the real world, and you're seeing all these people easily manifesting these big things, the things that you truly desire. You see women flying first class on, these big planes going halfway across the world. You see women easily bringing in 20, 30, 50K plus months. And you see these women living these dream lives that you truly want for yourself. And it's not that you haven't worked for it. You've been doing the journaling, you've been scripting, you've been saying the affirmations, you've been taking the courses, you've been taking manifestation courses probably. And you're learning all these tools and you're implementing them and you're working hard and you have this long drawn out mindset routine and it still doesn't help. And you're getting so frustrated and you're so angry and you're like, why does it work for them, but not working for me? And I understand your frustration because that was me about 10 years ago. I had taken the courses on manifestations. I was working my ass off. I was doing the scripting. I had this long, drawn out, like hour-long mindset routine. And I was sure that all of this was going to make a difference. This was going to be the thing. All of these things I was doing, all these things I was learning, these new courses I was taking was exactly what I needed to change things. But the problem was, I still was in the same position I was. I could manifest a parking spot, I could manifest a free coffee here and there. But when it came to a successful business, those big manifestations, it really wasn't happening for me. And I was frustrated and I was angry, just like you are, until I learned one key thing that makes all the difference. All those things I just talked about, the affirmations, the mindset tools, the journaling, all of those things are just surface level mindset tools. And the problem is, manifestation doesn't come from surface level tools. It comes from our subconscious. And this is one thing that a lot of these manifestation gurus either don't tell you or they don't even know about themselves. They've had things work out for them and they've done the tools and they go, oh, the tools work. But the thing is it all comes from inside, from your subconscious. And they probably had a subconscious that was pretty strong already. They probably were already pretty successful, had other things going for them, felt good about themselves. So, of course, manifesting big things once they got their mind on board and were like, I'm going to do this, their mind's like, great, finally, I've been waiting for you. Let's make it happen. But if you're like me and have this like myriad, like tons of limiting beliefs and belief systems that tell you you're not good enough, you can't do this, you're not worthy, all this other bullshit that our internal mind is telling ourselves, these programs that we've had since we've been children, it makes manifesting almost impossible because we can only manifest what we truly believe we are worthy and deserving of. And I want you to think about that for a minute because that phrase is so important. What you currently have in your life at this moment is a result of what you feel you are worthy and deserving of. So, those things way out there, those things that you truly want right now, like a successful business, multiple six figure business, to be able to travel, to be working less, all of those things right now are not in your reality because you do not feel you're worthy and deserving of them on one level or another. There's something in your mind, in your subconscious, that is telling you that's not available to you. You're not worthy and deserving of that. So until you work through those belief systems and understand what is holding you back, you cannot manifest that abundance that you truly desire for yourself, no matter how many tools, no matter how long your morning mindset routine is. None of that matters. And for some people, they might be getting mad right now, going, Jen, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, What is this? Like, this is all going to work. It works for all those other people. But let me ask you, why has it not been working for you? If it actually worked, why is it not working? If having the tools and doing the tools actually worked, why isn't it working for you? And it's not because there's something wrong with you. It's just a matter of you need to do a little bit of work. And that's all it is. It's a little bit of work. But this work is transformational. If you do a little bit of work, you get some big results out of it in the end. And another big thing I see women struggle with when it comes to manifesting is they go, I'm just not, hustling hard enough. I'm not working hard enough. And I especially see this in the business community. I've had so many of my clients come to me, and hard work and hustle are definitely not a problem. A lot of women that come to work with me, they're working 40, 50, 60-hour weeks. They are on the verge of exhaustion, but it still doesn't mean they're getting what they want. They're doing the manifestation rituals, they're hustling, they're working their butt off. But the hustle is actually making things worse, because when you hustle, you're telling the universe and you're telling your mind, I have to work hard for this. Or that belief is in your mind telling you, I have to work hard for this. That was one of my biggest limiting beliefs when I had my first business, and why I struggled, why I worked 50, 60-hour weeks, why I couldn't get past 75K per year is because I had a limiting belief, a belief in my mind, my subconscious, that told me you are not worthy and deserving of ease and success. My only firsthand experience with successful people was my father. And yes, he made quite a bit of money. He had a business, he made good money, but he had to work really, really hard for it. He was gone before I went to school in the morning. He was never home, rarely before I went to bed at night. And he always said sacrifice. That's all I ever heard. If you want to be good, like make lots of money, if you want to be successful, you have to work hard, you have to sacrifice. That's all I ever heard. So in my brain, when I started my first business, at first success was easy, and I was like, oh, this is easy, this is great. And then my limiting beliefs popped in and go, Jen, you don't believe that. You don't believe that success gets to be easy. It's hard work, you have to sacrifice. So we're going to make sure that your belief systems match up with your reality. So all of a sudden, this easy business that I was building became harder and harder and harder, to the point where I burnt out. I literally had a health crisis. I was working so much that my body was shutting down because I was pushing myself too far. Now it's the exact opposite. More than 10 years later, I have a multiple six-figure business and I work less than 30 hours a week. Most weeks it's like 20 or less, because I believe in ease. I believe that I can be as wealthy and abundant as possible by doing as little work as possible. It gets to be easy, and it gets to be easy for you, because if I can do it, so can you. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. So if you're like me, you're like my clients, and you're like 99% of the women out there, you have a limiting belief that is holding you back. And in order to be able to manifest more, remember, you can only manifest what you think you're worthy and deserving of. So if you want to manifest more, you have to change your internal belief systems about what you are worthy and deserving of. And that comes from those limiting beliefs you have. So, two of the most common ones I see in women are self worth, which is tied directly to what you're worthy and deserving of, and money blocks. So when you start digging into your brain and go directly to the source of your subconscious mind to understand what are your belief systems around that, you can start removing those and moving past it. So for me, the very first block I ever worked through was around self-worth. I was lucky and I won 3 free hypnosis sessions shortly after I started my personal development journey. After my last business, I walked away from it. And in that session, I just said outright, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I keep making the same mistakes. You know what? I'm trying to turn my life around. I'm trying to do better. And things were starting to improve, but I kept making those same mistakes over and over again. So in my session, we just asked, why is she still acting this way? Why is she holding herself back? Why is she not allowing herself to have success? And the very first belief that came up was, I'm not worthy and deserving of success. And I created this belief at only 3 days of age. Can you imagine that? Since the age of 3 days, before I even remember, consciously, I don't even remember that moment. But subconscious, my brain took that in. There was a moment of me listening to something my mom was saying to a friend, and I internalized that as, I'm not good enough. So throughout my whole life, every time something good started coming into my reality, I would silently sabotage it. And consciously, I didn't know this was happening. Looking back now, I can clearly see this happening. But in the moment, we don't see these things. We think there's outer sources. We blame it on external circumstances. Oh, that person blocked us. Oh, the economy's kind of crappy right now. And we make these excuses for ourselves, just like I did. But once you start doing this internal work, once you start working with your subconscious, things start shifting. So once I removed that subconscious belief using hypnotherapy, then right away I started feeling more worthy. Right away, I started bringing in more money. Right away, new people started coming into my reality, opportunities. And that's what happens when you work with your subconscious mind. Same thing with money blocks. Do you know how many women I work with that have some sort of money block? Things like money is evil. It's not available to me. A big one. I'm a woman. Who am I to make big amounts of money? That's a guy's thing. I'm supposed to be the housekeeper, the mom, the caretaker. I have to choose between success and wealth. All of these BS programs that we're telling ourselves are holding us back. But again, they're just money blocks. They're just stories that we are telling ourselves that are no longer true, that never were true, and that we can remove. And that's the power of hypnotherapy and why I became a hypnotherapist myself is because it's so easy to go directly to the source, to tap into your subconscious mind and ask it those powerful questions. Why is Jen self sabotaging herself? Why is Jen not allowing herself to make lots of money? Why is she not allowing herself to have a successful business? And uncovering those specific limiting beliefs that you have so that you can remove them. And the thing with hypnotherapy is when you remove them, they are gone forever. It's not like affirmations where you keep saying them over and over and over again, and you hope that at some point your mindset shifts and you have this new belief. Like, I don't know about you, but when I used to do affirmations, I remember saying things like, I am wealthy and abundant and successful. And you're saying those things, but inside you're not feeling them. I don't know if you're like me, but I would say that. I'd be like, I'm rich and abundant and successful. And then I'd have that little voice in the back of my head going, I don't think so, Jen. Like, if you were, we wouldn't be living paycheck to paycheck. We wouldn't be where we are. Like, come on, like, be realistic here. Plus, my little ADHD brain is going, look at this, like, look it over here. Here's evidence. Here's evidence. And my ADHD and my subconscious would work together and they just keep pointing out all the things that told me, no, you're not. And what's happening in the back end of your mind, all those little negative thoughts that are popping up, that's coming from your subconscious. And those are the things your subconscious is actually listening to. So you can say, I'm abundant and rich and successful all you want consciously, but if in your mind, then you're still saying things like, I don't believe that, that's not available to me, this is bullshit, even if you don't know that's going on, that's what your brain's actually listening to. And instead of, I'm abundant, I'm successful, I'm wealthy, it's hearing, I don't think so, that's not available. And it's giving you more of that, which I'll talk about in another video. I'm going to do a whole video on that. So make sure that you watch for it. But just know that that inner voice is what your brain is actually listening to, not your conscious voice. So if you truly want to create more abundance in your life and in your business, then you have to go to the source. It's like changing water. You know what? If you want to change the water source, you have to go redirect new water. I guess that was a really bad analogy, but you kind of understand what I'm talking about. You need to go to the source where the beliefs and the thoughts and the actions come from. Because in psychology, we talk a lot about the cognitive behavioral triangle: thoughts, beliefs, actions. So our actions are actually a result of our thoughts and our feelings. So if our thoughts and our feelings are thinking one way and we're trying to create an action that goes against them, it's not going to work. So again, if you want true success, if you want to manifest abundance with ease, if you want to have all of your wildest desires come true, then you need to start reprogramming your mind and telling your mind, your subconscious mind, I am worthy and deserving of X. And to tell you how much this works and how much removing those beliefs and hypnotherapy and everything change your life, 10, 15 years ago, I shut down a business that caused a burnout that I maxed out at 75K per year. I was in a highly toxic, abusive marriage. I had shitty friends who were only friends with me because of what I did for them, very one sided. I was a people pleaser and I could go on and on and on, but you get the picture. That was my life at the moment. Now, my life 10, 15 years later is drastically different. I run a multiple six-figure business that I love, that I work, like I said, less than 30 hours a week. I manifested a multi-million dollar property for free, literally said, "Hey, I want to move back out to the country." And it happened. I have my dream partner who treats me like a queen and so much more. Like last year alone in 2024, I called in over $50,000 in random, unexpected money. Like this is literally money that just come from out of the blue, outside of my business, outside of regular streams of income. It was just the universe sending me money saying, "Here, have fun, enjoy life." And this is what happens when you start reprogramming your mind for your subconscious mind for abundance is you really can make absolutely anything possible. And I continue to work on my mindset. I continue to reprogram my subconscious beliefs. And each year it just gets better and better and better. And the same is available to you too. And I just want to dive in quickly to a couple myths around hypnosis because a lot of the women I talk with right away, it's like, "Oh, I've had a bad experience," or "Oh, I've seen those stage shows," or "Oh, you can make me do something I don't want to." So I want to make sure that you guys understand what hypnosis really is because it is such a powerful tool. And because of misinformation out there, so many women miss out on being able to benefit from it. So, one of the most common things I hear comes from those stage shows of saying, "Well, you can make me do things I don't want to do." And I can tell you this from firsthand, that is not true. So, I was involved in one of those hypnosis stage shows in college. I got up on the stage, I allowed them to hypnotize me, I clucked like a chicken, I did stupid shit because I was drinking and I was having fun. But the thing was is I allowed that to happen. I was open to the experience and went up on stage and allowed them to hypnotize me to do those things. Now, I drug one of my friends up on stage with me and I was like, "You got to come. This is going to be so much fun." She did not want to be there. She did not want to do that. And because of it, they couldn't actually hypnotize her. Because one of the biggest misconceptions is that we don't have free will while we're hypnotized. And that's the biggest crock of shit because we do. Even while we're in hypnosis, our conscious mind is still awake, it's still active, and we still have free choice. If there is something we don't want to do, if there's something we don't want to say, then we don't do that. We are an active participant. At least my clients are active participants in the process. So if you're worried that, "Oh, I might do something I don't want to, you might make me do something," absolutely not. You are your own person. You can say no. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. Another common myth I get is that hypnosis is woo woo, but actually, hypnosis is very scientific. Hypnosis was actually, well, it's been used for hundreds of years, but actually used and documented in the early 1900s by one of the world's most famous psychologists. And he realized back then the power of the subconscious mind. And even though it's not common practice in psychology today, there are many psychologists that are using it in their practice. And being a psychology graduate myself, I actually have read many research papers on the benefits of hypnotherapy. The only reason it's not common practice in psychology, in the psychological world, is because psychology is very strict on what they can put their stamp on and what they can't. And because of that, what it is it has to be empirically proven, which means they have to be able to run a whole bunch of tests and say, "Yes, we are 100% sure that we've tested this a million times and we can say it works." But the thing with hypnosis is because we're going back to things from our past. We're maybe going back to moments from our childhood from under the age of 5. And unless there's people there to corroborate what we've said, it's hard to prove it. So, because the scientific world can't prove that those things happened in your past, they can't prove that it works, but it is still proven effective. They did a research study that showed the results. So they tested the recovery results of patients in three different forms of therapy: hypnotherapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, and behavioral therapy. Three very common um, ways of doing therapy. So in behavioral therapy, they were about 80% effective with 50 plus treatments. With cognitive behavioral therapy, it was less than 50% with more than 20 treatments. But with hypnotherapy, it was 95% effective in 6 sessions or less. And this was a study done. So not only is it effective, but it also is quicker. Because unlike conscious psychological work, cognitive behavioral therapy, where you're fighting against those belief systems you have, you're again going to the source. I tried therapy after my business failed the first time. And I did the therapy, I tried all the tools, and I was still making those same mistakes over and over and over again. It wasn't until I tried hypnotherapy that things truly changed. But if you have heard another myth, if there's something else that you're concerned about, that you're like, but I've heard this about hypnotherapy, Jen, post it in the comments below, and I'd be happy to provide evidence, to provide some sort of reassurance to you that that's not true. And if it is true, then I'll tell you that as well. But if there's something that's been holding you back from trying hypnotherapy, whether that's with me or with somebody else, I am never going to say you have to do it with me. Honestly, if you go out and find a hypnotherapist and you get the help you need, I am going to be cheering from the rooftops for you. So if there's something, a question you're wondering about, a concern you have, make sure to post it below and I'd be happy to help you out with that. If you're ready to recode the two most common limiting beliefs that women have, those money and self worth blocks, and truly start skyrocketing your business success while actually working less, then I have a program for you. All the details are in the link below. This is a 6-week immersive program that's going to help you reprogram your subconscious mind at the root. If you want to grab the Wealth Recode, my 6-week program, then you're in luck because I have a special discount code going on right now just for my YouTube listeners as a special welcome to my YouTube channel. So the Wealth Recode is normally $199 US, but it's 50% off until the 15th of November as a welcome gift for you. So if you're ready to remove your money blocks, remove your self-worth blocks, and start actively calling in and manifesting way more money in your business and way more amazing things in your life, then you want to grab this right now. The discount code and the link to buy is in the comments below. And make sure, if you're not already following, to hit the follow and subscribe button. And I'll see you back here again in the next video.